Good morning and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's a greeting given by Jewish brothers and sisters, Christians of Judeo-Christian. Shabbat Shalom in Hebrew does loosely defined being peace on the seventh day. That seventh day, the Sabbath, is the one referred to in the fourth commandment given to Moses, and that the seventh day is to be set aside just as God rested on the seventh day of creation. So this day is to be put aside and to be treated special. I'm sure, and many of you would already know, there's controversy on what day of the week is to be set aside, but setting that aside, have peace today is a good greeting. Today I've already been thinking and meditating on a Bible verse which roughly states that God has created all, are for Him and by Him. It's Romans 11:36, I believe. Puppy will come along in a minute. Here she comes. So maybe it is from, a part of the all things God has made is the creation of the world and its mechanisms of physics of the world. Today, of course, I'm big on walking through what has become the word nature. I refer to as God's creation. Here are some pine trees. You can see that wound there on that tree. Here is another small wound. Here's a wound. Of course, I'm calling them a wound because they have been tapped. And they've been tapped to get their sap. Now, somebody in the community had done this a few years back. Hasn't really kept up on it. They can't remember, maybe they did it one time or a couple of times. These are always pretty neat areas because the pine needles on the ground, the elasticity of the pine needles is so great that the changes the pH balance of the ground and of the groundwater that it makes it so ground plants don't grow well and usually are not even found under a pine grove, which makes them kind of fun and interesting to walk through because you don't have the brush and it's kind of a little oasis to explore. I guess that's what's been kind of on my mind today is oasis. Biblically speaking, we can all know the story of Adam and Eve living in the garden. So if one's to take a look at that as not just a metaphorical, but well, even if you do look at it as a metaphorical term of a garden, some might even use the word paradise. And I can see that. Because when we look at the story, oh, that's an old man bending down. That's what that sound is. That the Garden of Eden is a place that we all would like to be. I mean, think about it. The plants, the ground, a place of peace, protection, a place where food is readily available. Trees and plants are not out to harm you. They're trying to convey to the humans within that reality of a peaceful place, a coexistence between the created plant life. Come on. And I just been thinking, as you know, I like to go for my walks in the woods, and am I not trying to find and or recreate a Garden of Eden atmosphere? Is it not what we are all consciously or subconsciously trying to do? In our daily lives, we are in some way trying to recreate paradise. That's a long step to say something like that, but think about it. We do, of course, manipulate, cultivate the land, the earth, to build gardens, whether they are of food or plants for decoration, or, the seasides. I mean, what is your picture of paradise? And then is it not something that we are all in some way striving to do? Now, there's a physical paradise, and that's kind of where I'm hanging right now. Yet, there would also be a discussion of the idea of spiritual paradise. Kind of more like our inner person, to become part of a spiritual paradise. All the same types of items are within our spiritual as we do in our cultivated paradise. Something that I've really just been thinking about. Give you a chance to maybe think about that too. I was even thinking that how sometimes our attempts to create paradise are not of a way to try to fix the fall of man. Look at the biblical ones, of course, the Adam and Eve story, the fall of man and being kicked out of paradise. I thought somehow when we are trying to recreate paradise, it's almost like we're trying to say, hey, sorry about that. We're going to try to recreate paradise as a sign of saying, hey, what you had done was really cool, and we're really sorry, and we're going to try to fix it. And so we're going to pretend and build a paradise similar to what you had first created to us. We want to get back to the garden. Now, I say that, and it doesn't take long to look at the reality that sets in that says lots of people have been pushed off that path. Paradise has become a building, a job, wealth. Yeah. Yeah. We do it wrong. We have good intentions, and so many people do, on the idea of dominion over the earth, that we do so with a very light hand, that we allow the creation to be God's creation, and lightly manipulate it. Will we ever see the garden again? I think part of me look at the garden just not about the physicalness of it, the beauty, the fruits of the gardens. There's a spiritual garden that we kind of want to get to. A place of inner peace, communication with God. And the knowing that of all be all, it has been by His hand they were created, and for Him they were created. Really wasn't the Garden of Eden built just for Adam and Eve and for humans. He built it because it was good, and it was a replica of what could be or should be. But we messed it up. Got a lot of these little stickers are laying across the trail now, and Riley doesn't like them. She kind of knows that some of them will kind of hook on to her. Sometimes in the fallen world now, even the plants are, well, they're just trying to do their job, but they kind of interfere with our paradise, don't we? We try to cut them away. Oh, what are we? We're in the first week of July. The Jewish brothers and sisters right now will be doing some studies. I'm going to think it's Koach. The story of a young Hebrew Jew. Of course, you got to remember they weren't called Jews back then, and that's a story unto itself. But anywho, who he wanted to be a priest of Yahweh, of God, a priest of God, through the Israelites' line of succession. He was eligible for it. Yet he also wanted to push even further. He wanted to be a high priest. And pushing so hard to be a high priest, he decided that he was going to go about things his own way. And the parashah that is being studied today is man's wanting what might possibly even be right, but doing it the wrong way. Isn't it the same today? We want paradise, the shalom, the peace and protection of paradise, but we just don't want to do it God's way. Well, God bless you. That's all we got for today. Love you. Shabbat Shalom.